All right, so the District 2 Sports Podcast, we're back with another episode tonight with our top 10 high school rankings. We have our four prospects here tonight to talk about, and we also have a special guest with us later. So really good stuff here tonight. Guys, how you doing?
Doing good, Gregory. Just so happened to have some dessert going on here that Nanny made earlier.
Is that banana
Uh,
pudding?
it's banana pudding. Mm.
Man, just rubbing
hmm
it in our face tonight, I see.
Listen,
hmm
no desserts on this end. It's all business tonight. I got some knowledge bombs to drop on y'all.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
All right, all right. Let's get into our top 10. So, y'all want to go through last week's real quick?
Yeah,
All right, let
yeah,
me share
because I
my.
want to hear how horrendous y'all were last week.
Can y'all see this?
hmm
All right, so we had North. So it's our Super 10 here. So this is from last week. We had Northside at one finally, GW at two, EC Glass at three, Salem at four, Carroll County at five, PH Roanoke at six, seven is Liberty Christian, eight Dam River, nine Nelson County, and 10 Glenver. Um, Things are going to change because we had Northside versus GW. We had Nelson County and Dam River. We had Salem and Patrick Henry over the week, and just a few upsets here and there. So things got to change again, guys. So we got to settle this debate. And y'all mentioned wanting to expand the boundaries here, and you know if we do that, you got to consider where do we stop it at? Are we going up to Winchester? John Hanley's 18 and 0. Are we going to Harrisonburg? Spotswood is 16 and 3, I believe. There's some good teams out there. So what are we doing here?
Y'all, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I don't know why you got to expand. I mean, y'all that desperate that you have to?
Hey, I'm fine with keeping it how we have,
I
Roanoke,
think, yeah, I think
Actually,
we can keep
actually, I
it how
shouldn't
we
have said.
Harrisonburg.
got. But
Actually, I shouldn't have said that because I did actually go a little bit past our boundary this week.
Mm.
hmm
there's
So
only one team I would be okay to adding. There's only
you
one
mentioned
team.
George Wythe last week, right?
hmm
Do you want to hear my hypothetical if we were to go from Danville to Winchester to Southwest Virginia?
Let me just say this. Let me preface that. I don't think we have a choice but to listen to it.
Okay. Yeah, well, good. You're going to listen. So this is who I would have as my top 10 featuring all these teams. Again, this might not be the top 10 when we get down to it here because I think we're not expanding that far. But at one, I have John Hanley, 18 and 0, just wrecking everybody. They played a lot of good talent. They're in 4A, so look out for them to compete for a state championship. Two, I had Northside. They're in 3A. East Glass at three. Four, I had Albemarle there out of Charlottesville. Really good team. But EC Glass, I think, beat them just recently, so they get the notch there at three over four. Five, I had Spotswood. Six, I had PH Roanoke. Seven, I had Carroll County. Eight, I had George Wythe. Nine, I had LCA, and 10, I had Salem. So that was my hypothetical top 10 for expanding the boundaries here.
Yeah, that's the. I guess we just keep it with what we got. I don't know. I mean, it's up to y'all, but it becomes less about the South Side, I guess, when we do add all those teams. So up to y'all.
I'm gonna do
So
it.
how? I mean, all right. So my question here is, let's just say that there's a team in Wytheville that is on the radar. I mean, it's just north of basically like some teams such as Floyd County. It's really not.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
see what you're saying.
saying?
So I do want to say something though. There was some a comment made on our YouTube videos, and this comes from Colin Burnett, CB Talking Ball. Said, what's the criteria to get noticed on here? I guess 15 and no grand. This is from football season. 2A champ must have zero players of interest for y'all. The southwest part of the state needs more attention. I haven't seen any mention of Doyat from Glenville or Reese from Lebanon as QBs. Help us out. Great show though.
Wait a
So,
minute.
What?
Hold on a
Holy
second.
cow!
hey, wait,
What's
no,
it?
no, hold on. He's not.
Hold
I don't
on.
think he's dogging us. I wouldn't take this as disrespect. I'm
I,
saying
yeah, but listen. Hold on. What's his name?
this is Colin Burnett. He listens to the
Okay.
show, so we're
All
giving him a
right. So
shout out.
I'm gonna speak personally to Colin just a second. I'm not getting ugly. I'm not. I mean, that's fine. Listen, um, Colin. I personally took an interest. I can't even say his whole last name, but I personally took an interest in Brody Doyak, Moyak,
I think it's
Doyak.
probably. I think that's the reason why he hasn't heard his name on here because you haven't said it right yet. So I think
I butchered it every week. You're right. But I personally took it upon myself because I watched his highlights on DBJ on Friday Football Extra, and I think his brother plays there, and I really interested in
mm,
Brody. And I even looked as far as when we started basketball season to check the roster to see if he actually played basketball. So, my big question here now is, who did we miss at 15-0 in 2A?
that was Graham, the state champs for football.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we did. Look, dude, I apologize for that. Is he in Southwest Virginia, I guess, or what?
I believe he's. I believe. I think I'll check Twitter again. I think he's a wide receiver coach there at Graham. So he's advocating for
Oh,
his boys.
yeah, absolutely. I would too. And listen, that's something we've got to take to heart. And I'm glad he threw that in there because that's something the three of us have got to get together and get on the same page. What's his name again? Colin?
Colin Burnett.
Colin, thank you for calling in and sending your message. I mean, this is something we've actually talked about. Um, Personally, I just feel like it's a lot to cover when you start, like you said. I mean, let's just take the 6A. I don't think we could ever even cover 6A because of all the teams on the beach and in Northern Virginia. That's going to be difficult. I mean, I'm trying to think of somebody that's, Phoebus. We did go see Phoebus play, but the only reason why we saw Phoebus play is because it was a state championship and it was in Lynchburg. I mean, it's just difficult.
My
Um,
thoughts. I think we should draw a line maybe from Charlottesville down and west. Maybe. I mean, we're
Yeah,
always
I
going to
mean,
have
I'm
people come after us like, "Hey, you're not covering this team." But it's like I said, it's only three of us, and covering the
yeah,
whole state would be difficult. So I think we go
I'm more inclined
Charlottesville
to add
down.
those. Yeah, add those maybe Charlottesville teams. If anything east of Charlottesville, I feel like once you start getting to Richmond and like that
They have their
area,
own stuff
but
going
I'm
on.
more inclined to add the Southwest Virginia teams. And I mean, we're already covering quite a few in like Allegheny and Carroll County, all those teams. But
Yeah, I agree. Hey, we can do that. So that's just my hypothetical. I told him we appreciate it. Any feedback we can get from our fans and from anybody, we really appreciate it. Big Greg's on mute.
the other thing that I did was, during football, if you remember, guess who that is?
Looks like Greg Doss twice on here.
And, all right, so I don't know how to do this now. I got to figure out how to do this. So can I leave over here?
All right, so you guys, I mean, just to reiterate, back during football season, I kind of took it upon myself. I didn't really ask you guys, but I kind of looked around the state especially when I was using Max Preps as my guide or what have you, and I kind of looked at other teams, and then I looked at individual stats because I was following Gideon really closely during football season, and then. When I looked at Gideon's stats as a running back, he wasn't at that time the number one running back or number one in stats or in yards gained at that time. So it was actually a kid, if I can remember correctly,
Matthews?
from Fluvanna, I believe it was,
Oh, I thought it was a kid
or
out east.
somewhere up. It was near the beach. It was out that way. I can't remember what his name is now, but he played soccer, he played basketball, and he plays football. And he was a running back slash DB, a guard on basketball, and a high class soccer player. And I cannot think of what his name is. Devin, you remember? I can't remember what saved my life. But anyway, I mean, going back to Colin, I mean, we kind of expanded in that way, but I mean, let's take Dave Walls at SET. Let's take the Friday Football Extra people, even in basketball. I mean, their polls are limited to that area. So, I mean, I think, I mean, if we notice something in the stats, or notice something in the headlines, I think we need to bring it to light. Yeah, I think we should.
I think we start covering it. I think Austin might need to contact some people down that way. Maybe we can bring Colin Burnett on, give some more
Absolutely.
education on that side of the town of the map because we know everything about Roanoke, Danville, Lynchburg ourselves. So we probably need some a little bit more help out there
Yeah.
with more knowledge. But yeah, I think we can
But
start covering it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Greg, but
Yeah.
didn't Graham beat Glenver, or did they not win? Did they beat somebody in that Roanoke area to win the state championship or
They
something?
beat Glenver in the semifinals.
Okay. All right.
I thought,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I think we did go through the brackets at that time, and yeah, we knew. Are they the G-men?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we did know a few things about them, but Colin, I think you got a great point. I think we're just so localized or centralized that we just haven't expanded, and we will. Hey, with your comments, it does bring light to things, and we welcome everybody to the broadcast. I mean, you just let us know. We'll get your team out there. We'll. I mean, that's what it's all about anyway.
Yeah. And we're gonna have two kids on here from the Southwest area for our prospects tonight. So that'd be interesting too. So, but let's get to this top 10 before we have our special guest call on here. Um, so obviously, GW, I mean, you guys were there, you saw the game, lost by
Mm.
near 40 points. Are they falling out completely? Are they back to, 8, 9, 10, somewhere on there? What do you guys think?
Well, Devin, let me say something just a second. I know we got to scurry along on this thing, but I'm gonna tell you like this, Gregory. I know you weren't there, and Devin was able to get you the highlights and stuff like that via text messages and what have you. But dude, we were treated like royalty at this basketball game the other week. I mean, you know, we walk in, Coach Pope is down in the corner by himself, and I was like, Devin, there's Coach. I said, let's go over and talk to him. And then I thought for just a second, I was like, maybe this is his pregame ritual, and so we went over. I said, let's go, and he'll run us off if he's taking some time. Dude, as soon as we walked over, he was just like, as soon as he saw us, he was like, it's so good. I mean, we couldn't even introduce ourselves to him before he had, just started shaking our hands. So it was wonderful. He was a great host, and um, like I said, he's very, very humble. That game, you know, DeMarcus, they were just up against a wall. Just some of the points I wrote down during the game. I was trying to kind of keep a little bit of a diary during the game just to have some kind of running thoughts or whatever. But one of the things that I really come up with during that game was, and I showed Devin this. I just thought that Kobe was pressing the whole time. I mean, especially the first half. I just thought he was pressing. Um, he took some rough shots, and I think he was just trying to come out and stand up for himself and show everybody what he was all about. And I just think he pressed and took some bad shots. But then again, the defense was outstanding for Northside. He did not score, according to my tabulations. He did not score until 1 minute and 37 seconds left to go in the third quarter. So
Mm.
I'll turn it over to Death.
Man, it was GW just had no answers. It was close after the first quarter. I think GW actually had a lead, but then you just saw the depth kind of take over for Northside, and the game really wasn't close. But I'm gonna say something it might be a hot take, might not, but I'm not gonna put too much stock in that game. Actually, I mean, obviously GW loses by 40 points, well, almost 40 points to Northside, but I think you got to remember is these are high school kids. They were not used to being down all season, and you can see by their record and everything, they had not been in that position. I think it just got to the point where they just kind of gave up, and I think that's kind of what you saw out there. And obviously that's the game they played, and that was the final score of the game. But I think it doesn't take away from their body of work to this point in the season. I'll say that about GW.
Not really, but I did take it to heart. So you'll see as in my results here in just a little bit. But the other thing I wanted to mention, we were talking about the ninth grader from GW. What's Smith, I believe it is, Isaac Smith. And we did confirm, Gregory, that he does have an offer as a ninth grader from ODU.
Wow.
So yeah, so he's on the radar. But I'm gonna tell you something. If this kid Ragland from Northside isn't playing D1 basketball somewhere, I'm not saying he's a center, but he could definitely play a forward somewhere in D1, no doubt. He's got that body. He's a ninth grader as well, and I think he's a hidden gem. And I think we picked that up from Coach Pope the other night. So I think he's been hiding him, and I asked him that question where he's been hiding him all year. So it's kind of
Yeah,
funny.
great interview there. So we have that on our social media too, on Twitter and Facebook. So check out that interview with Coach Pope with Big Greg.
But going back to your question, if I'm just going to skip all the way down. If you want to know where I've got GW right now,
Yeah,
I've got them as 10B in my
Tim
poll.
Vincent. So they're receiving votes.
Yes, so they're 10B in my poll at 17-3. I know Devin's got a very valid point. You playing the number one team in what I feel is the number one team in, definitely in three. I guess it's three. Am I right? Two or three?
Yeah, number
Three.
3A.
I'm at 3A. And I mean, I've talked to several people. They say John Marshall's the best team in the state, no doubt, hands down. But I think this team could give them a run. I'm not saying they would beat them. I say they would give them a run. I think John Marshall has supposedly got a lot of length and height and stuff, so I think that would probably be their downfall. But this is a really, really good team. So, but I still, when you lose by 38, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. So Northside obviously won here. 2. Are we moving EC Glass up to that 2 spot?
I have Glass at 2.
EC Glass at 2. Just for reference, the guy for Virginia Preps, I can't think of his name all of a sudden, but he put out a top 10 for each classification. He had EC Glass as number 6 in all of 4A, so pretty good ranking there for them, I think. When you combine the west side and the east side too. So 2 EC Glass. All right, so 3. Who do we want to, Salem lost a game to Patrick Henry Roanoke by a point, I think, or 2 points. You can move up Carroll County up there. They had some big wins last couple games. I think they're 20-1 now.
I actually have Patrick Henry Roanoke at number 3.
Wow, big stepper.
That's who I would put there as well.
All right, it doesn't matter what I think.
Who'd you have?
I think I had Carroll County moving up. I think they had 2 impressive wins last week.
I've actually got them 4th.
Devin, what do you think?
For 4?
Yeah.
That I would put Salem there.
The thing is, yeah, I mean, so Carroll, since that loss to Glenver, they've won 1, 2, 4 straight. They eventually lost to Glenver, beat them by 8 at Glenver, and they smacked Floyd County by 30. So 2 impressive wins, I think. Salem, they do have 2 losses to Northside, and the other 2 losses are by a point and 2 points, I think. 1 point to Glenver and 2 points to Patrick Henry Roanoke. So
Who was their 4 losses to?
for Salem,
Yeah.
Northside twice, and then they had a 1 point loss to Glenver in overtime, and I think a 2 point loss to Patrick Henry. I think it was in overtime too, right, Devin?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, maybe.
Okay.
In my book, the Glenver loss looks bad right now in my book.
I like Carroll at 4.
Here's what I'll say about Salem too. This is just the research I was doing today. You know how many teams or how many wins they have against teams who are above 500?
I'm ready.
3. They have 3.
3 wins
Cave Spring twice and once against PH Roanoke.
for teams above 500.
Above 500. I think they have 2 wins against Hidden Valley, who is sitting at 500, but just above 500.
That's
2
good
against
knowledge.
Cave Spring.
All right, but you had them at 4.
Yeah. See, telling us.
So all right, this is why I wish I could share my screen. I'll y'all go on.
So we okay at 4?
I'm all right with either one, Carroll County or
go share your screen, Devin. Go. You want to share your screen? Share it.
Oh, all right, let's do it. This is what I was looking forward to.
This is where the knowledge gets dropped on us, right?
Yeah, I want to see what he has to say here.
I'm all for this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He says he wants Salem at 4, then he just disproved Salem at 4.
Yeah, he come up with the theory. The theory didn't work.
We have covered like 3 of their players, so I mean, it's like now we're saying they're not that good. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's that. I just think, they just kind of fallen on hard times the last game or 2.
Yeah.
Y'all able to see it at all?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
Golly. All right. Well, who knows if it's gonna do it.
Theoretically, we have Carroll and then Salem at 5. It's bigger than that.
Is that who you got at 5?
I was gonna put Salem at 5.
Is that what Devin was gonna say? Salem at 5?
If he went at 4, I guess he has to go at 5, right?
Yeah, I go with 5.
Okay,
right.
so I'm gonna be wrong on that one.
Who'd you want at 5?
I have LCA at 5.
Okay, respectable.
So when I guess is LCA going to 6?
Devin.
That's where I have GW still.
Oh, okay.
Mm. I, Geez, I'm trying to think of a potential match. I think right now, if we're going by right now, I think LCA would take that. Way GW's been playing lately. Just,
I do too. I do too. And seeing it in person, and I was able to talk to DeMarcus before the game the other night, and not saying that I read in too much to it, but you know, you you could just see where you could see his team is struggling a little bit. And like I said, I think it's because that I think they're pressing is what I think it is. I think that, and what I mean by pressing, they're putting a lot of stuff on their own shoulders, and I think they're trying to play a game that maybe they're not familiar with. That's all I'm trying to say.
I go with
They're
LCA 6.
okay. Yeah, I just switched them 5 and 6. Okay.
I would put GW at 7 though. For
Mm,
me, I have GW in the top 10, but looking who was behind them, I still think they would beat Nelson County. I think they would beat uh, Georgia Wythe, who we want to put there too. Who, Devin, who do you have at 7? Are you okay with GW at 7? Since you had them
Yeah, I mean, I
6?
had LCA there, so yeah,
okay.
I'm all right with
So
Who's
GW
Rickard
being there.
want?
who'd I have?
Yeah.
I had number 7. I had Nelson County,
So
but I'm
this is about to get
yes.
difficult because we have 8, 9, and
Well,
10.
y'all already knew what I had GW. I had GW. I had them out, and then I
Yeah.
said, nah, I'm gonna make them 1B. I mean 10B. So
So this is where it always gets confusing. So my top 3 left is Nelson County, George Wythe, and this third one is it's killing me here. It's I could go back to Allegheny. Mm, what are you guys thinking?
My last three are Nelson, Gretna, and George Wythe.
all right, here's mine. I have Nelson at 7, Allegheny 8, George Wythe at 9. Even though they lost by 36, but they lost to a team in Central Alabama who was 26 and 4.
Yeah, they George Wythe's playing a difficult schedule. They played
You're
in that
daggone right.
that Virginia High little tournament. They
Yep.
played Madison Ridgeland. They played Phoenix or Central Phoenix, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
Alabama. I think
And
I
and then
like
10.
Wythe at 7 or at
Okay.
8.
And then 10A and 10B, I had 10A. I got Dan River still because they took a tough loss the other night to Nelson. And then I got 10B GW. So it's up to y'all. Y'all fight it out because that
I like George Wythe at 8.
okay.
I
I'm
like
all right with that.
Nelson. I like Nelson at 9. I think I know they didn't move up. I could win at Dan River, but I think George Wythe's schedule and um, teams they've played, I think they're number 8 for me.
Who did we have? We had GW at 7. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Who does everyone want for 10?
I mean, if I'm going through this and what y'all just said, I'm going Allegheny at 10. If I had to pick between Dan River and Allegheny, I'd pick Allegheny.
So who do we have? George Wythe at 8. Who's at 9?
Nelson.
Okay, I'd go with. I mean,
I would
I
no.
like.
I don't know. I think we Allegheny lost last night to at Glenver by 4.
Oh my goodness. So Glenver's still in the hunt.
I was gonna
So
say
Allegheny
I like
done.
Glenver there. I like Glenver. Here,
Hmm.
I can't share my screen. I don't have my system preferences or whatever set.
Thing
So
is
I'll just
about Glenver,
send you all this.
since that win over Auburn, they lost by 4 to Radford, lost by 1 to Floyd, lost by 8 to Carroll, and then they get a 4-point win. So I don't think Glenver can be in there. I think
I got Dan River. I'll stick with Dan River at 10, but y'all, yeah, it's up to y'all. I mean, if I really wanted to expand, I'd put Hopewell in there. They're 17 and 2, but we haven't expanded.
that's mm. Yeah, Central Wise. I mean, I don't know if we're going that far. Patrick Henry Glade Spring, but they just got beat by
Oh yeah.
30.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, I had them written down and I said, no, they got spanked by somebody.
Stanton's 18-2 up there near Harrisonburg.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
if we put Stanton, you got to put Spotswood. We didn't do that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Glade Spring lost by 24 to Abington, which doesn't sound bad, but Abington's 11 and 11.
So Allegheny and Glenver both just took a L within this week.
I got Dan River. I'm sticking with Dan River at 13 and 5. I don't think their loss was that bad to Nelson. I think it was it was at home. It was still close.
I'll
But
go
y'all,
Denver at 10. I'll do it. All right, we're back with four more prospects for you. We have expanded our boundaries a little bit. So we have some kids from the Southwest, Lynchburg, and also in the Spotswood, Penlaird area. So we have, first off, we have Cole Murdock from New Covenant. Then we'll have Reed Kirtner from George Wythe. We have something's going on back there.
I'm back in the gym. I got
And we'll have Tyler Sprague from Spotswood and Cole Caywood from Patrick Henry Glade Springs. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. The first one we have here is Cole Murdock. Again, he's from New Covenant. He has sent us a message on X, so we want to get his highlights out there. And his family's been following us too. So just a little background on him. So he's been averaging 17.5 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, and a steal per game as well. And I kind of asked him, hey, what's going on in the future here? What does it have for you? And so he's been hearing from Longwood, Emory and Henry, High Point, UVA Wise. So some good coaches there. We talked to Coach Mellinger there at UVA Wise, so got some good looks there. So hopefully it pans out for him. But he is a junior, class of 2026, so he'll get some more looks as we go. Not sure how tall he is. I think he's maybe 6 foot, but plays AAU.
according to Max Preps, he is 6'1".
6'1". I was close. I knew it was like 6 foot, 6'1", so I was close.
Number 23.
23. Cole. Well, here it says 22. Maybe it's from last year or something like that. So, but Cole Murdock. Here we go. Here's some highlights here, guys. This is mid-season highlights. So, is it? Yes, 23. You're right. And one.
Mm.
So you like kind of like a
Going to the cup, yeah.
Phillips-McLoyd going to the hole. Quick trigger there on the elbow, like that. Not afraid of any contact, that's for sure.
Oh, nice little mid-range jump back there.
Oof.
Nice pass.
Yeah. I like that court in New Covenant. I've never seen their court before. They have the Apple Market sponsorship too. That's crazy. Got some offensive rebounding here, going back up with it.
Nice.
Foul. Oh, and one. So as you see, I mean, like he plays great defense, putting pressure on the ball. When he gets the
Look,
ball, he's getting downhill.
I gotta say something about that
Oh,
court.
yeah.
Don't that remind you of the old Chatham elementary school where we used to practice at with the stage on the other
Oh,
end?
gosh, it does.
Yeah,
Well, that's crazy though. They have an Apple Market sponsorship. I mean,
that's nice.
NIL.
Might not be able to afford him.
Oh, I mean, take it to the
Nice.
hole.
Nice
He's
take.
I mean,
quick too. He is very quick.
he's a quick.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
scorer. You can see the quick trigger. Man,
Here he comes again.
good
He threw it.
look.
Yep.
And he's not the smallest kid in the world either. He's got a little bit of size to him too.
Yeah, got some muscle on him. I mean,
Oh,
drawing the contact,
nice.
going up with it.
Nice.
Oh, gets it deep, gets a block.
Defense. Nice.
I mean, going after the big
Strong
kid.
take.
Wow.
Nah,
Wow.
I definitely
Nice.
think his game can translate to the next level for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, y'all see where they playing at, don't you? The
Oh, Smith Mountain Lake,
Ospreys. Yes, sir. The
your favorite
Ospreys.
your favorite football team.
Yes.
Oh, get off of him.
Oh, golly.
Good open look. Oh, I like that. Did you see that pass? He put the three up next to his head like he already knew it was going in. He's confident. I like his game. And I think that's one of the biggest
Yeah.
parts of the next level is that if you can score and get to the hole, like that's going to translate well. Like we just talked to Phillips-McLoyd, and he's the same way. He gets downhill, getting to the hole, getting fouled. I mean, I'm sure he shot a lot of free throws in those highlights too, probably.
They're 16-8. They're having
Yeah.
a good year.
Cole Murdock, they're from New Covenant Junior. Coaches, please go watch him. He's a pretty good talent, as you can see. So,
Last game is Thursday night against VES.
nice. This is Devin's boys right here. I don't know if he wants to take it over from here. Reed Kirtner
Ooh.
from George Wythe. Devin, you know
I'm
anything about
looking
him?
forward to this myself.
Nah, I just know that he's probably battle tested. That's for sure, man. Based on the schedule that they played so far.
Yeah, would you say they were top five or top 10,
What's that?
like in their net rankings?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I think they had him at number like 5 or 6 based on the number that the number I got for them. But that team, George Wythe is averaging 70 points a game, which
Yeah.
I mean doesn't sound like a lot at this level, but it's definitely the most or the second most in our top 10. That's for sure.
17-4. And look here, the eye test that Gregory puts everybody to, they beat Auburn 66-63 at Auburn.
Yeah. So just looking at his Twitter account, so he has an offer from South Georgia, it looks like. Um,
Isn't South Georgia, oh my goodness, is that D2 or is that I can't remember. I thought they played against UVA Wise and Wise beat them when they were ranked. Maybe I might be totally wrong.
yeah, I think you're right. For Psych Tech has reached out to him. Fort Hugon Postgrad reached out to him. So I mean, he's getting a little definitely offers on the D3, D2, and postgrad level. So I mean, he's a senior. He's 6'2" combo guard at George Wythe. Like we said, first team All District, Region, and State. So I think when you see his
Hmm.
highlights, you're going to be pretty impressed by him. Like Devin said, George Wythe can score, and they play some good talent. So I believe this is highlights from last year, or maybe some from this year and last year. So this is him getting up right here, number
Oh
4.
my goodness, out of nowhere.
Yeah,
They got a cool court too.
yeah.
Golly,
Whew.
Devin, you done turned this into
Wow.
something. I'm have to go see George Wythe. I go
Yeah.
up there. I'm through there all the time.
Mm. Dunking
Oh,
it.
He
Yeah.
could throw it down.
wow.
I don't know what team this is. That's some ugly uniforms.
You're right. It's like they forgot theirs and
Oh
had to
wait,
get into
that
something.
was him,
That's
wasn't
George Wythe,
it?
man. Come on.
Sorry, sorry, Reed. But I think this is the tournament they were playing in down there in Bristol.
Must have forgot their uniforms.
Oh wow, that's John Hanley right there.
Wow.
I think they lost them by 10 too. So John Hanley's 18-0, and oh, what a great move there.
I mean, I wish I knew who was scheduling these the teams that's on George Wythe's schedule, playing against
Oh,
Central out of Phoenix City,
what
Alabama.
a play there! I like that behind the back pass,
Mm.
pulls up. But you can see this kid. I mean, he's smart. He's methodical with it. Like he's going
Hmm.
around the screen, see if he has any open room to shoot it, and he does. So there's some more highlights for him. Virginia High here,
Wow. I did
take it to
not
the
know
hole
Virginia High School's gym was like that.
against Auburn.
There they are.
Oh, nice step
Look
back,
at that
jump
nice step
shot.
back.
Yep.
Man.
Again, if you can score, you're going to be able to translate to the next level. Like you gotta play some good defense too. Oh, nice spin move to the rack
Wow.
against Narrows, I think. Nice pass.
Yes, sir.
That's Lebanon, I think. Man, Southwest
Mm.
has some good gyms. I like it.
I know it.
Hmm.
Oh
Here he
my
is,
goodness.
Tech.
That's a nice team. That's a nice gym out there in the Southwest. Is this a
Oh, pulling
tournament
up.
game?
That's some deep too. Woo.
I wonder who they were playing out there.
Oh, what a play. Kid's a scorer. I mean,
That's
Hmm.
Patrick. That's Pulaski right there.
nice pass.
This kid does not. He will go up against anybody.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
I like that block. That's one of those slaps. Yeah, this kid's game's gonna translate to the next level. So if you're a coach out there looking for
Man,
needing a point guard or a shooting guard, give Reed a look.
I might have to
how
talk
tall did we say Reed was?
6'2".
6'2".
I
Man,
might have to
Man,
give my best friend a call tonight.
Tennessee High.
I mean,
That's that tournament. The Arby's Classic. Oh, I think it's called the Arby's Classic. But yeah, man, that's just nice. Oh,
Oh my
golly.
gosh, he was on the bench.
oh my goodness.
Good gracious.
Reed Kirtner. I mean, if there's a coach in D3 who or ODAC doesn't want this guy, I know what you're doing. This kid can play out of George Wythe there in Whitfield, Virginia. Man, Devin, you gotta watch out for your boys.
You wonder why I was so high on them last week, man.
Yeah, I get it now. So this is our 6'7", 215 pound
So
um
is this
forward
Woo.
center.
is this Glade Spring?
Yeah, this is
Look at the
Cole
picture. Look at that
Caywood.
picture
Yeah.
going through his legs.
So I just like this kid's name, Cole Caywood. Doesn't that remind you of like Hoosiers, Cole Caywood?
It does.
I mean,
All right.
out there in Glade Spring.
I'm just gonna say I was watching some highlights of Patrick Henry Glade Spring today. This kid can pull up from three. I'll just go ahead and say it.
Yeah, he does
So
it.
just be aware of a guy who's gonna stretch the floor out here.
I don't know if I don't know what year he is. I didn't see that part. I don't know if there's I was missing it, but
Give me just a second.
three. So smart kid, almost a 4.0, 3.9 GPA, 6'7", 215. So big kid, big body. So, um, he's gonna they're gonna have a tough time guarding him. But uh, he said I think it was last week maybe. Cole Caywood set a single game school record by scoring 50 points and then went over
Goodness.
Honaker.
6'7". All right. So what you wanted to know what year he was?
I think he's a senior because it says he's put a single game school record on senior night. So
Uh-oh.
I assume he's a senior.
I'm assuming that's his brother with him because Cole is 6'7". He's a senior, center power forward, and then Caywood, number 43, is a junior guard, 6'4".
Yeah. So he may
Where are
be
these highlights coming from, Greg?
I think some huddle. So
Okay.
yeah, we can go ahead and play it. Yeah. He's just an impressive kid. I don't know what offers he had. I couldn't see there on there. I have to keep looking there, but I know he's definitely getting some looks. But yep, like Devin said,
Oh
pulls
my
up for three.
goodness. Wow.
24 points per game it said too in that little
Oh,
intro
what a
there.
pass. I mean, he just slung that ball down there.
Man.
Yeah, this kid can score.
Nice
And if you
turn.
can score, your game can translate. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, off the
Uh-oh.
backboard.
Uh-oh. Nuh-uh. Uh-uh.
Uh,
Oh.
I'll tell you what, this kid looks a lot like Baby Jokic.
He does.
yeah,
And one. And one.
through the contact. I don't know how you guard him now though. You got
That it-
front him.
There's the Hoosiers gym right there.
Oh, I like that. Man. Oh, he's on that side of here.
Here's a home court right here. Oh, it's got good form. Really good form.
I think you see him, he's playing both inside and outside. So I got depending on the team or just what defense the bench throwing at him, but he'll sit out there and shoot if you let him. Got some full court press. Yeah, you can't bring that. That was weak.
You can't bring that to that. It's like bring Kool-Aid to a gin party.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean,
another one. Knife to a gunfight.
oh, nice back door.
Oh, that was pretty. That was really pretty. That was good basketball right there.
Did you say his brother's number 43?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, two big bodies down
That's
there.
Cade.
Gets his brother rebound, puts back up. I mean,
Little brother helping him pad his stats right there.
yeah. Pick and roll.
Oh, that is pretty.
Oh, yeah.
That was really nice. You know, these guys played a little bit in the backyard. You can tell that.
For sure. Oh, God. I mean, he had three guys on him.
Strong
him.
take.
And one.
Yeah. Oh, don't say that's just,
No,
man.
they totally forgot.
Yeah, you're going to leave him open.
You can't lose an inbounder.
Oh, you're
Where's this
Wythe.
at? Nice.
At Wythe.
This is one of the most beautiful gyms you'll ever see. I'm telling y'all.
Against Lebanon.
He's got a good looking stroke, man.
He does.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
that's quick trigger
See
too.
him again.
I see where he likes it. Right elbow.
Nice little turnaround.
Oh, yeah.
That was little brother getting it to him, wasn't it?
I think so. Oh, nice. Nice open spot. But that's Cole Caywood
I enjoyed that
Patrick Henry
highlights.
Glade Spring. So we just have a 24 point game.
I was gonna say Cade
that's
send
what it
us
said
your
in mid-season.
highlights too.
Yeah, Cade or anybody else on that team, reach out to us, man. So, but as Cole Caywood, so I don't know his future plans. He's a senior, but I'm assuming he has some offers. I mean, you can't let a 6'7" kid who can shoot like that from the outside get away.
Nope.
I mean, I'm hoping Mellingers reach out to him. I mean, he's right there. Our next one here is Tyler Sprague. I hope I'm saying that right, but he's out of Spotswood High School. I believe he's a senior as well. 6-foot guard. The thing about him, with Spotswood, they have at 300 monster there at the guard position, and he plays along with Pacheco, who's going to, I think, Mount St. Mary. So, a lot of teams are going to focus on Pacheco a lot. So at least him helping for a lot of shots and kind of drives. So you'll see in his highlights, this kid can score. I'm going to pull up his stuff here in a second, but we'll see some highlights for him.
What is he? What is he? What year is he?
I think he's a senior. Yep, 2025.
Okay.
So I see him down here walling off somebody down low.
Dang.
Yeah,
Guard posting up.
Got to be bigger than 6 foot.
him shooting the ball.
Nice
I mean,
shot.
yeah. His last game, he had 23 points. I mean, he can put up points. 25 against Rocktown. 27 against Rockbridge.
Man. He's quick.
I might get Nanny
20
Robin over here. Let her take a look at the highlights.
26. I mean, this kid he's putting up points. I mean, 20 points, 20 plus points a game. He's quick. He's going to get downhill through contact, finishes it. So you can see why.
Oh, here he comes back, leading the break.
Yeah, good pass.
Nice. 3-on-1.
So you can see why Spotswood is, the record they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, about all these kids, if they can play offense, I mean, you're just going over 20 points a game,
Mm-mm.
you can play at the next level. Finish the
Throw it
left
down.
hand.
Nope.
I mean, look at the ball moving here. That's nice. That's real nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
You don't see that much. No wonder they're beating people like you do.
Yeah, they're a class 3 powerhouse. Been for years just because of, players like this and that offense. I mean, he just spots up so well too.
Wow.
And I just saw a
And one.
team's name on the floor for just a minute. Middlesex. Wasn't that the team that my buddy played for? Was
Oh,
that
I
running
think
back?
so.
Yeah, I think it was Middlesex.
East Rock, home of Tyler Nickel. I mean, John Hanley, I can't, I don't know if it's them or not, but
Man.
they play them pretty tough too. Spotswood plays teams, man. They go out there and play people, so he plays good competition.
They beat GW, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man. Picked his
goodness, what a
pocket.
nice play.
I want to say this. I hope, I'm sure Melvin knows about him, but I hope Melvin's looking at him. Not a far trip there to Eastern Midnight. Or Mary Baldwin, Coach Aiko too. Oh, nice.
Wow. At the buzzer.
Good Lord. How far was that?
Nice little runner there.
Yeah.
Man.
As Scott Van Pelt says, float game.
But yeah, that's
That's nice.
Tyler Sprague from Spotswood High School, the senior. So coaches, give these kids some looks. I mean, we talked to a lot of coaches in D2, D3. I think all these kids could play at that level. I think this makes over 20 kids we covered so far.
Yep.
And I was always send your stuff into us, man. Reach out to us. We've had fans reach out to us and say, "Hey, cover this kid." So any leads, any kids, let us know. All right, so District 2 Sports Podcast. We're here with our special guest tonight. We're here with the 6-foot senior from Randolph College Wildcats, Jordan Phillips-McLoyd. Jordan, how you doing tonight?
Jordan, don't answer. Don't answer, Jordan. Don't answer yet. I'm cutting in right off the get-go. So I gotta ask the first question before we even get into him, okay? See if anybody can catch on. Carl Anthony Towns. Shea Gil, I don't know how you say his middle. Gilgis Alexander. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Anybody catching any of this?
Is this about the-
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Three name athletes. The goats.
Hyphenated athletes. You're all over it, Devin. You know when you got a hyphen in your name, you are one heck of a ball player. I'm sorry, Joy.
Nigel Williams-Goss.
There you
Nigel
go.
Williams-Goss. Got to throw another one out there.
There we go. So I'll let him take over now. I'm sorry. I had to get that in.
No, I'm doing well. I'm glad I'm on the podcast. I've listened to y'all once before. Y'all have had my head coach on before, so I've tuned in.
Yeah, we'll make sure he knows about this. We don't want you to get in trouble or anything, so we'll tell him about it. But but like my first question, like I talked to you about already, I find you're from Johnson City, Tennessee. You play at Science Hill. Kind of talk a little bit about your high school career and how you did there, and then what led you to going to Randolph College.
Yeah, I've been a basketball player all my life. I've played football, I've played baseball, but basketball was normally the sport that I've stuck with. Going into high school, I think I put my full focus into it. Started ninth grade year. I think I was a late bloomer in terms of size and strength and skill. I think I had to figure that out on my own. I think just working out on my own and figuring it out and being myself and figuring out my own game. I know a lot of people have like this certain game of you have to be a certain type of player to play in a certain type of league. I think I just figured it out. And, I think from high school, I wasn't really highly recruited. I won't say Science Hill is a big school, but it's the only school in our district. And we have a lot of players that come out from Tri Cities and in the Tri Cities area. We have a lot of athletes that come through the area and still do. But it was I started graduating. I graduated in 2020, so it was COVID year. So it was kind of rough for me. I didn't get the chance to go on my visits and talk to different schools, but I think one school that stuck out with me was Randolph College, and at the time, the head coach was Pete Hamilton, and he just reached out to me, and he was always constantly checking in and constantly communicating with me and telling me he wanted me and how good of a player I was, and I took that in internally, and I looked at it as like this school actually wants me, and I don't want to go to a school where there's a school that just is recruiting me just because of who I am and my name and my accolades. But I think I took the decision and I wanted to go to Division 3, and I knew whatever league or whatever division I went to that I still had to work and I had to work forever, whatever I wanted. And I just came to this small school. It was kind of different than Science Hill. Science Hill is about 3,000 people, and coming here, it's about 800. So it's a small community, small knit, close community. But everybody is themselves. They're all welcoming, and the first thing that I came to was a welcoming environment, and my teammates were welcoming, and I was a freshman, and we played 9 games, and I started off. We had a little like team cohesion event, and I started off saying that I don't mind if I have to carry out the waters or if I have to be the first one to be in the starting lineup. I was like, it doesn't matter what role I play. And fortunately I got to play 9 games, and I averaged 10 or so points, and I scored 20 against, I want to say, Roanoke, and it was really cool. It was a different experience. You usually go into college August, September. We got into it right away in December, and it was December 30th, I think, and you had to pass a COVID test in order to get there. And I passed my COVID test. I was freaking out before I wanted to pass my COVID test because I knew if I didn't, I would have been behind. And we were starting practices soon, and we got straight into it. So we played 9 games, and then one of us got COVID, and it was after that. So I think my freshman year was really experience for sure.
Jordan, two questions. First off, I got to ask you, since you're from Science Hill, the old ball coach. I mean, how much is Steve Spurrier around the high school? Do you see like a lot of his accolades or his trophies around there?
You see him everywhere. You see him everywhere. We have this big football facility now, and he's everywhere. He's all of his accolades are in there, and it's everywhere on campus.
I'm down here in Jacksonville. I'm a huge Florida Gators fan, so when I saw when you said Science Hill, I was like, oh man, that's the
There we
old ball
go.
coach. But
That makes two of us.
good. Okay, good. So going back to high school when you got recruited, so we do a little thing for for prospects, each week, 4 or 5 kids. We try to showcase their highlights and kind of put them on our YouTube. But when you were in high school and you were getting recruited, like, what did you do? Did you just reach out to these universities and send tape, or how does that process go?
I think for me, it was a big help of, Twitter. Social media was just starting to, ramp up. I was starting to collect my highlights on Huddle. I don't know if these high schools use them now, but collecting highlights on Huddle and sending them out to different coaches, sending a formal, text like, hey, I'm looking to play college basketball. I don't know if I will get the opportunity or not, but I would love to, come visit or something. Just I was trying to do anything and everything to to get my name out there and get my foot in the door.
How many visits or how many contacts did you have like when you were doing that process?
I had a couple. I had UVA Wise. I had Randolph, obviously. I didn't have anybody else in the ODAC until after I transferred and I hit the transfer portal. But other than that, it was only a select few.
Oh, I think Big Ray's ready to take a shot.
You think I'm out? You think I'm going to go ahead and get a question in?
I think so. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. First of all, Jordan, I don't know how you got out of Science Hill, out of Johnson City without being over at that other little school called ETSU. I'm sorry. I think you deserve a shot over there, especially playing in that conference you played in. But I did a little research. I'm kind of the stat nerd, okay? So I'm not going to go through every number right now, but I do know that you're leading the league in scoring. I know that you can pull some rebounds and you can and dish out some assists. So the thing I looked at was the players of the week for this entire year in the ODAC. Not one time does Jordan Phillips-McLoyd show up. So I just got to ask you, with the numbers that you're putting up, do you pay attention to any of that? Or if you do, does that motivate you at all? Because I know it would me.
I don't think I try not to pay attention to it. I try to stay level headed and to stay focused. But no, I have a great group of teammates. Obviously, I want to win and I want to win as much as possible. I think that factors into it a little bit. Our record doesn't show what it shows, but I think me scoring the ball and having the success I am this year, I think I definitely should have been up there more times than not. But I think I'm definitely getting people's eyes. I think definitely that. It's a lot that goes into it. I don't want to say what I really want to say, but
We'll let you. Yeah, don't be afraid here.
I think it's just there's good teams in this conference, and there's teams that's going to play me very difficult every single night, and I know that, and I think I've shown I'm capable of beating those teams individually and being successful against those teams in a really really tough conference.
So I got to ask, you've scored 38 points twice this year that I've seen, I believe. I think that's correct. Nazareth, and I can't remember Nazarene and somebody else. I can't remember the other one.
Nazareth University, yes,
Okay.
sir.
And then I have to ask you, if you might recall this game, January 15th, 2025, I believe it was against Bridgewater. How in the world, it must have been just that night, 8 points, 3 of 6 from the field. I just five. You did have five rebounds. Was it anything special they did that night with you, or was it just what they call that night?
No, I don't give credit to any team, any
There you
team
go.
in our ODAC playing, but I know every team's going to give me their best night. I know everybody wants to come and take my head off. I know I'm the leading scorer. I know I'm leading in like top in assists, and I know my name's up there in the scout report a lot of the times. But I knew that going into the season. I knew the work that I put in ahead of the season, and I asked for that, being a leader and being a team captain for this Randolph College team.
And Jordan, so going back to last year, we talked about, or you talked about this going to the portal. I kind of want to talk about that, but also my second question would be about Coach Key and what he brings to the table. But going to that decision going in the portal, I guess Pete Hamilton had left the university, or I don't know if he was resigned or got fired either way. But um, was that the reason why you entered a portal? And what was that portal experience like for you? Like as soon as you put your name on there, were you getting contacted by schools left and right, or how was that for you?
Yeah, it was a little bit of different experience from being coming out of high school and going into college rather than going into the portal. All teams want a point guard, they want a quick electric point guard like I am. But I think the biggest thing was for me was academic wise. I know I don't talk about it a lot and I don't tell my story a lot, but that was really the main truth. I going to Waynesburg, people don't know that like going to a different school, you get pushed back on credits a little bit, and they don't tell you that if you switch majors, that you're pretty much like pushing yourself behind and behind. And I think the biggest thing for me was I had to look within myself and realize like this is not the best position I am. I was 6 hours away from my family, nothing to Waynesburg. It was a great experience. It made me to the person I am today. But I think that experience of just leaving and going up north and being in the cold and coming back, I spent Christmas up there by myself, me and another teammate. And then my family came up there during Christmas. So it was tough. It was a lot of tough times and it was a lot of figuring out and it was a different experience. But I think it was definitely enjoying and I made the most of it. But far as the portal wise, I was getting contacted by a lot of schools. There was a couple Division II schools. There was a bunch of D3 schools up north. Ohio Athletic Conference. I had a list of them like on my notes when I was in the recruiting process, but it was a bunch. It was a bunch up north, and it was rarely some down south. It was a lot of USA South. Mary Baldwin contacted me. We played them this year, and they gave me a tough game. But it was a couple teams that we played this year, and I wanted to go at, and I knew that they didn't get me in the portal, so they were definitely coming.
We talked to Coach Echo, and I can definitely believe that he said, "Hey, when Jordan didn't come here, we're going to take it out on him." So I can definitely believe that. But so Evan Key comes in here his first year. It looks like whatever he's doing on offense is working because you're scoring a bunch. You're averaging 20.3 a game or 20.3 points per game. You're top five in assists in the ODAC. And I think the one thing that really stands out is your free throw percentage. You're at 87%, and you shoot more free throws than anybody has taken. I think you're 121 for 139, if that sounds correct. So, what is it about the offense that Coach Key allows you to score these points and get to the foul line?
Yeah, credit to Coach Key. Coming in, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I came back, like I said, for school. But then Coach Key, he reached out to me. He was like, "We're waiting on you. I'm not going to get another point guard yet. I'm waiting on you." And I told him I was like, I got to enter the portal first, and we got to do it the right way. And we did it. It finally went through. So I came here and I knew what his offense was at first. I watched a little bit of film of him at his old school, and they ran like a pro style offense, and I think that fit my game so well. Um, and I think the biggest thing was the pace, the up tempo pace. I think that's the reason why I've been so successful this year, and also the spacing. With my type of play and my style, I'm definitely quick and I definitely want to get downhill a lot. So I think me get downhill and creating for my teammates and creating for myself and creating advantages. But I think the biggest thing was for me is paint touches. Our coaches definitely they always harp on that and getting paint touches, and I think that's the reason why I've been getting to the line a lot. And people can say flopping or whatever, but I call getting to the free throw line of being a skill. I think I don't know how many times I've gotten to the free throw lines a lot this year, and it's shown like it's easy to score a lot of points if you get to the free throw line that many times, and I want to keep it up and I know refs are looking at me and they're like, he might just fall on the ground or whatever. But I think taking the contact and getting downhill and also like the pick and roll, we run a lot of ball screens. And I think exploiting the defense on that, being a, fifth year guard, I've seen every single read, I've seen every single coverage. And teams throw different things at me, and I'm able to figure it out and read it at a very quick decision. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen. And then the spacing in our offense, our spacing has been very 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 good, and playing one on one, getting downhill and getting by defenders and I've a lot of teams are very physical in this league, and we don't get a credit enough. And I think one of the teams that played me very, very well this year was Virginia Wesleyan, and I scored 20 on them. But overall as a team, like it's just very fatiguing. Every possession trying to score, and a lot of teams are not saying that a lot of teams aren't good at defense, but they are. But yeah, that's the biggest thing is the ball screen coverage and me getting downhill and getting to the line a lot.
Greg, you might have to edit this out. I hope I'm kind of remember, but Coach Key, we were talking about his experiences, his past experiences. If I'm not mistaken, did he not win a small college national championship with Apprentice last year? Is that correct?
He did.
Okay, so thank God I'm right about that. I thought so, but how does that translate to you guys? I mean, how does his experience from that past translate to you guys? I mean, of course, he probably floats a ring around in front of you guys, I'm sure, doesn't he? But in all seriousness, how does he translate, him winning that national championship to you guys, and something for you guys to look forward to in the future?
Yeah, he's been big on he says it all the time, like he's had certain people in the past that he can, we've been struggling defensively. He's like, I could have put this person in last year. Well, we always joke about it, but yeah, he's an experienced coach, and he doesn't get credit enough, that like how successful he is. He's been in the game a very, very long time. He's very successful. He knows how to win at a high level, and I think that's the biggest thing that caught my eye when coming here. Um, he came off a national championship, and me being a senior and being a fifth year, I know this is my last year. I wanted to win just as bad as he did, and he came in as a first year, and we're kind of similar in a way. We both stack all these odds against us, and we have all these chips on our shoulder, and we want to prove people wrong, and we wanted to do it. We want to do it in a short amount of time, like ASAP, and sometimes it always doesn't work out that way. It's a very tough conference, and it takes a couple years to get your feet grounded or whatever, but it's been a lot of learning and a lot of, it's been a process. And I think the biggest thing this year for me being a leader is, just optimism, being relentless and realizing that, everything doesn't come when you want it to, and it's all a process.
So Jordan, I know Gregory hit on a couple of your stats, and I alluded to them a little bit earlier. So just to hit on a couple, but I gotta get to a real good point here in just a second. So, number one in points in the ODAC, 20.3 per game, 4 rebounds, number 35 in the conference, 3.7 assists, number 5 in the conference, 1.1 steals, number 17, 31.6 minutes a game, number 7, 45% from the field, number 23 in the league. And of course, Gregory hit your free throws. You're at 87%, number 2 in the league, and you've hit 38 3-pointers, which is number 12 in the league. So my big question is, you have 2 giant blocks this year. So do you remember each one of them, and did you really play good defense on those?
Um, I remember one. I don't remember the other one, but I remember one, and it was against Ferrum recently. And I only know because number three from their team, he was lighting us up the whole game, and I got a stop, and he drove by me, and I didn't give up on the play, and that's the biggest thing we talk about is not giving up on the play. And I know my defense is sometimes it's tough for me to score so many points and get stops at the same time, playing both ends of the ball. But I know I have to, and I know I can't give up on plays. And that was one that I didn't give up on, and I blocked them from the back end. But it was good. I tell my teammates all the time, like I can dunk and I can get up on the rim, and we always joke about that. But it's funny because they call me Unk all the time. They call me old head. So I'm getting that treatment now. So it's my teammates are hilarious.
Jordan, going back to what you talked about earlier about the ODAC being physical and just a tough league in general, like you still managed to do really well against that competition. I mean, you started off really hot, against non-conference, but you continued that success. I mean, you put up 33 against Roanoke, you put up 32 against Ferrum, you put up 23 against Lynchburg. Quick little stat. I went to EMU, Big Ray went to Averett, and Devin got his PhD from Lynchburg. You put up 66 points against our team, so you really handed it to us. But just talk about how you've been able to manage playing against that tough competition and still continue to score.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very physical league, and it's very demanding on the body. I think for me, like being so small and being, so little, they just try to put bigger defenders on me and try to push me around a little bit. But I knew that going in this year that I had to be physical, and I know the ODAC is a very athletic league, and athleticism is big, and I think the biggest thing for me was being in the weight room. I think before games, I'm in the weight room. During off season, I think spending a lot of time on my body and mobility and recovery is the biggest thing to be able to take those bumps and those hits and those falls. They're very painful sometimes, but I think I know what I'm going into when I'm going into the game, and I know how physical it has to be, and I know what my body is going to go through during that time. But I think the biggest thing is just strength. It's a grown man league, and Division 3 doesn't get enough credit. Like whatever division you are in, like you still have to play, you still have to compete against high level guys, and they're still coming to take you out. So I think that was the biggest thing is I know Roanoke is a tough defensive team. I know Lynchburg is Hillary Scott. He knows about me all the time. Funny thing is, his assistant coach used to coach me in middle school, so he knows me a lot. So they're very familiar with me, and I've been in the conference for 4 years now. So a lot of teams know about me and know my name. So I know they're ready to every night to come at me.
Well, Jordan, last question for me. I want to talk about Coach Key. And oh, Devin, you have a question? I'll go first. Let me go first. So Coach Key's offense. I mean, kind of sell me as a recruit. Sell me on what Coach Key does for his offense. Is he free flowing? Hey, you have the ball, you're hot, go get a bucket, or is it a lot of plays, or how does that offense work there?
Yeah, he doesn't try to structure a lot of things on the offense. He gives you a lot of freedom. The biggest thing he says is stay spaced. If you're able to stay spaced and you're able to, be aggressive on offense, and we call it controlled aggression. Like we're playing fast a lot of times, and you're gonna need to make quick decisions a lot. And I think the reason why I was so successful this year is being decisive with my passes and being decisive with my movements and my angles and different things and my cuts. And I think the biggest thing he does is he gives you a lot of confidence on offense. He tells us to shoot the ball a lot. We get up a lot of shots in practice. And the thing is if you go out there and play hard for him and you go out there and produce and you do something right and you get a rebound or you box out. If you do something so little, and he's gonna know those details, and he harps on the small details. And because college basketball is about the small details at the end of the day, and um, if you can't box out, if you can't rebound, and if you can't like get assists and share the ball and move the ball and make your teammates happy, then you're not going to be successful.
Jordan, I got to ask, being a guy who maybe scored 20 points total in his high school career, and I think I speak for these other guys when I say that as well. Me and you are on opposite ends of the spectrum there, but what goes into you being a scorer the way you can, is it something that just comes naturally to you? Or is there a certain part of your game that you're working on more than others, whether it's shooting or finishing at the cup or whatever have you?
Yeah, I think freshman year to my junior year, I think starting off, I wasn't as big and I wasn't capable of taking those bumps and those hits and being able to drive past defenses and slice through the defense and finish. But I think my finishing ability has picked up over these last couple years, being at Waynesburg and being coming here. We shoot a lot of threes, obviously. I know he picked up on I made 38 threes this season, but I think my biggest strength is getting downhill and finishing and being able to put pressure on the defense and putting pressure on the rim and that yeah, I know that helps being able to get my teammates open. And I think starting off the game not being so passive and trying to figure out how the defense is reading me and what the coverage is going to be during that night. And I think picking up on matchups and exploiting those all goes into factoring of how to score 20 or how to score a lot of points during a game. But I think the figuring out those little things and those small details of who's guarding me that night and how they're playing me and what ball screen coverage, if I'm getting a hard hedge, soft hedge, if they're dropping, are they tagging the roller, different things like that. And then are they how what the refs are like before the game, like little things like the refs come out 15 minutes before the game, and I definitely look over and I see what type of refs we're getting that night because I know what type of game is going into. So, like finding those little details, I know it can be kind of weird in a way, but finding those little small details of finding a way of how can I get 5 to 6 points and still a couple buckets here and there throughout the night.
Well, I was also going to ask, are there any guys at the college level or the NBA level that you watch and that you know try to take things away from their game as well?
Yeah, so I watch a lot of, college basketball, watch a lot of overseas basketball. That's been a dream of mine for a long time. A couple, obviously NBA. I watch Allen Iverson. He's my favorite player. John Stockton. He's Steve Nash. The way they're able to just they're so small and they're so little, but like it being small is not just, the only skill that you have to have. And, it has to go with skill, it has to go with IQ, and it has to go with, different things that factor into it. But yeah, for us small guards, I think we have to be pretty much perfect during the game. I think we have to play the game within the game, and we can't go out there and make the home run plays every single time. But I think those people right there are the reason why like it's so easy to score in the NBA, and they've proven it. And I think a couple other people. I know he's not having a great season this year, and I'm a UNC fan, but RJ Davis. I talk about him a lot to my teammates, but just those being those small guards. But overseas, there's a lot of professional guards that I watch, like Carson Edwards, Jared Harper, a couple others, and they're just able to figure it out and still be able to be effective during the game.
Hey, breaking news, guys. I'll be in Chapel Hill next year as the associate head coach. I'm taking Jordan with me. Do you have another year, Jordan?
I'm trying to get one.
Listen, I got two final questions for you. Even if it's little Jeffrey or little Chucky from middle school and if he's from Kingsport, Tennessee, best player you ever played against?
Best player I've ever played against. All right, so my sophomore year, we played against Smack McClung.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, in Gate City. That was a time. That was his senior year, and I want to say that was Zach Irvin's junior year. And they also have another kid. He's at Virginia Wise right now, Bradley
Dean.
Dean.
Yep.
Yeah, Bradley
Yeah.
Dean. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I played with Bradley, my AAU, like all 4 years of my going into my like the AAU experience, and he's you talk about scoring, like he knows how to score the basketball. He's them three right there, like. I thought it wouldn't be able to like. There's more basketball, obviously, so
Right.
I didn't think they were able to do it. But we played them at Johnson County, if you all know where that is. It's up in the mountains, and funny thing is, we played. In high school, you rarely don't play back to backs, and that night we played against Johnson County, the home team, and then we had to turn around and Gate City was coming in as soon as it was halftime for us, and we had to play them. And it's on YouTube, so everybody can go back and watch it. But he ended up dropping me. He ended up crossing me. So I remember that. But the guy's in the NBA now. He's in the NBA now. He's a really heck of a player. I follow him all the time in his journey. But that's the best player that I've ever played against.
And then my last one would be this, excluding yourself, who's the player of the year in the ODAC? If you had a vote. I mean,
That's it.
I mean, if you want to say Jordan Phillips-McLoyd, I'll let you. But I mean, I didn't want to put that pressure on you.
Nah, I'm definitely saying myself. But if
There you go.
if I had to choose somebody.
Number two, then. All right, how about that? Number two.
If I had to choose somebody, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I would say a couple guys. I would say Brazel. Obviously, he's been
Thank
having a real.
and listen, I'm thanking you for saying that too, because we have gone this entire ODAC basketball season, and we can't figure out if he's Brazil or Brazel. So thank you very much. So you have corrected us on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely think him. They're having a heck of a season, Hampton City, but they have a couple players that could be it. Also, Shane Fernald, he's a really great player. I know he's young, but he's like the baby Jokic of the ODAC,
Wow.
and he puts a lot of pressure on on the defense every single night. But I think it could be a couple players. We just played Josh McClary from Roanoke, really heck of a player. Marcus Morgan's a really good player. But a couple people from Randolph Macon could be it. I think Keyshawn Pulley, maybe, but I think I'm putting myself up there. Like I can't really,
Absolutely.
confidently say somebody else. Me being me, I'm gonna say myself.
Absolutely. And look, listen, I think you're a class act, and we can't thank you enough for the time you spent with us. And we're planning on being at the ODAC tournament. I think it's at the end of this month. Is that right, Gary? I mean,
I think it's
y'all know more.
first weekend of March.
So we look forward to meeting you very, very soon, if all possible.
Yes, sir. I look forward to meeting y'all too, and I appreciate
Thank you.
y'all for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan.
Well,
Go ahead, Deb.
Jordan, I got one more segment for you if you got some time, but if
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
got
go.
time. Nah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
I'm throwing it back here. We're bringing back some rapid fire questions
Let's
for Jordan,
go.
putting him on the spot a little bit
There we
here.
go.
All right.
Good job, Deb.
All right, Jordan. We got 10 or 11 questions here. All right. First
All
thing that
right.
comes to your mind. All right.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
Assist or score?
Assist.
Dunk or three ball?
3 ball.
MVP or championship?
MVP.
College or NBA?
NBA.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
There we go. Favorite Jordan shoe?
Jordan 11s.
Mine too. Space. You gotta have the Space Jams, man. Favorite ODAC arena to play in?
Roanoke.
Gatorade or Powerade?
Powerade.
Whoa! We gotta shut down the podcast. Jordan, you
Powerade.
might be the first person that would ever say Powerade on the podcast there, but we'll keep going. Win at home or win on the road?
Went on the road.
Morning practice or night practice?
Morning practice.
And then go to pregame music artist.
Lil Baby.
There we go. You heard it from Jordan Phillips-McLoyd himself.
There we go. Well, Jordan, we thank you so much for your time, man. I know we went a little bit over, but we wanted to get you on here and kind of give your little story here. And the ODAC's top scorer, Jordan Phillips-McLoyd of the Randolph, I want to say Randolph-Macon, Randolph College Wildcats. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Jordan.
Jordan.